Kilo Alpha 3, Lima Sierra Kilo.
Lima Sierra Kilo.
No, the call is Kilo Alpha 3, Lima Sierra Kilo. KA3LSK. You copy?
Yes, I do. What's the name there, sir?
Sorry, it's Bob, Bravo, Oscar Bravo, and I'm in western Pennsylvania, right on Lake Erie, Pennsylvania. How's that for copy?
Yes, around the lake there. Well, you should have some good ground conductivity, almost good enough to do a vertical, Roger.
Well, I am working off a Wyndham, Carolina Wyndham design. It might help a bit. Don't know, but you are coming in very, very well. Conditions must be very good this afternoon. So I thought I'd give you a shout. Hopefully you can hear enough signal to get a decent audio report. This is an ICOM 7300, which I know you bumped into just a few of them in the last few months. But we are running barefoot with the with the Carolina Wyndham up, maybe about 40 feet or so. So how's that for audio?
Very good. Now, what mic are you running?
I'm running the standard mic that comes with the radio.
All right. And are you running a specific EQ, or are you running flat?
I'm running fairly flat, and I think the gain is somewhere around 55%, so I can see it flickering on the ALC okay. And so I am running fairly flat in audio.
Roger. Well, you could use a little more bottom end. You could use a couple of clicks on the bottom end. How are you working that mic? Are you right on top of it to the side, going across it?
Oh, I believe I'm right on top of it, directly in front of the microphone.
Okay, what you want to do is work it, pull it to the side of your mouth and talk across it. It's a condenser microphone, and it lends itself to transients and plosives if you work directly into it. So I would pull it to the side and then just work across that mic. Roger, Roger?
Okay, well, I'm giving that a try right now. That's what I'm doing, talking across the microphone so the element is not getting the direct blast. And maybe that may make the change in my audio.
Roger. Now, I would pull it just a little bit more forward than that. You might have been just a little too far back of it, but you want to, because your level didn't come up, and it would come up if you're working right on it across it. Your level should be hotter than that.
Okay. Well, we'll give this a try. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
All right, I would consult my ALC because it didn't come up like normal. I mean, level-wise. Were you directly into it when you were working it in the front?
Yes, I was in the beginning there. Well, the ALC appears to be about mid-scale, and now I am a little bit more directly into the microphone element. I'm looking at power, ALC, everything. Well, that's about it audio-wise. About where I think I should have been, but maybe I need to boost something or try something different, I guess, in the audio frequency response.
Well, I'll tell you what I would do. Your dynamic range is rather wide, and we want to restrict that dynamic range to get a fatter signal. So I would go to the compressor, and I would adjust the compressor for about 1/3 of its capabilities. I would put the compressor in and adjust it for about 1/3 of its capabilities. Roger?
Okay, well, I'll bring it down, because I was about 40% on compression, 40%. Now I'm at about 20%.
All right, and talk to me just a little bit. Tell me about your antenna.
Okay, fine. The antenna is, it's 15 meter band, meaning about a total of 130 feet, and therefore that 4-to-1 balance is working quite nicely on 40, right through 6 meters, well, through 10 meters especially. On 6 meters I don't know what the effective radiating capability is, but it does pretty well, 80 through 10. So how's that for audio?
Roger, it's not getting fat like it should. Are you sure that your compressor's in line?
Yes, it is. I'm going to bring it up a bit. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go up to 60% and see if that might help the compression bring the body of the audio up.
Yeah, it's helping. You must be a light talker.
Yeah, Could be. Don't tell the woman that. She has a different opinion occasionally how far I might get up the Richter scale.
All right. Now, and check your ALC on the next transmission, and go for 2/3 deflection on the ALC meter. Roger, Roger. With your mic volume control.
Okay, let's see here. We're about 50% on ALC. I'm going to bring it down a little bit. I'm bringing it down. The mic gain is now down near 40%, and don't know if that helps or not. We'll see.
Well, gosh, I would go to 50%. You have an unusual situation there. Most on that radio, usually about half or a third compression will usually do it, but I would go to like 50%, half of the compression capability, and see how fast your audio gets in.
Okay, well, we were about 50% compression and about 50% on the mic gain.
It's the ALC 7300.
Showing somewhat in the middle.
Yeah.
In the middle of the ALC rating. So, boy, that's right up the middle of the road. And the power, of course, the current, everything appears to be 100 watts. So, I don't know. I might have to get into the I imagine there's some custom menus in the audio spectrum on the mic. If I get
travel the bass wide open.
Gosh, station, it's coming along there. It's usually 7300 is pretty much to go right out the box there. N9GTO has joined us. Lou, what's happening?
Hello to you. Yeah, if you could, just for a minute, go in the menu where it says, let's see, I press that thing here, help me here. Go in the menu where it says setup, and when you press setup, it'll say tone control. Go in there and set the transmitter for full treble and full bass on transmit, over.
Hello, we don't want to do that.
I really didn't understand that back comment. Did you understand it?
Yeah, it was just for an experiment. Just to do it.
We have an experiment for you to do, sir, if you're up to experiments for today.
Oh, okay, very good. Go ahead. I'm having a hard time copying it, so that's the only problem. This is Qso-Vlog.
Go ahead, Lou.
Tell him to go into the when you go into the setup, go into setup with a screwdriver and the adjustable wrenches, and go into tone control and go to transmit and adjust the bass and treble wide open. Let's hear it.
This gentleman is not that familiar with his radio. I would hate to send him in with a screwdriver.
No, it's on the menu. When you go to the menu, you press the button, and it sends the set. It shows you a screwdriver and an adjustable wrench. You press that button, go to tone control, and on TX, you go in there and you got sideband. You press that and just put the sideband and make sure that his TBW is at 100 to 29 on the wide, and the mid's TBW is on a 100 to 29. There's all these different menus in there, and that's how you can get the acoustics to come up. You can make him sound like Art Linkletter.
So I got what he's saying. Now, I am looking at TBW. I see a TBW wide and a TBW mid. I imagine maybe a low side, too. And what was he recommending the settings might be?
Wide, TBW wide for 100 to 2900, and the bass and treble wide open.
He can go to 3K, can he?
2900 for widest.
On that radio?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm saying right now my TBW, the wide is 200 to 2900 right now.
Yeah, you can take it. You can go to TBW wide, where it'll say 100 to 2900. The mid, the TBW mid, it'll show you 100 to 2900, and then you got the TBW narrow at 100 to 2900. You want all of them. The wide, you want 100 to 2900. The mid at 100 to 2900. You go down one that says narrow 100 to 2900, and you want your bass and treble wide open +5. Over.
Okay. Let me give that a try one time.
Roger. And hello, Mr. Ferguson. Whose call are you bootlegging today? KC9VKV?
That's the one.
Well, I tell you, you're giving that guy, they buried him last year. You're giving him a lot of a lot of good stuff there. I'm glad that you picked him up, because all that stuff would have just kind of went to waste.
I tell you what, man, I had to break out my prayer for the mentally ill this afternoon.
Oh, Lord, my wife said there's something really going on strange today. What's going on?
Well, there was some fool was trying to interfere with the transmission, and so I immediately assumed he was mentally ill, and I did pray for him.
Oh, good deal, good deal. The gentleman out there with the 7300, I'm sorry you can't hear me. I'm on an antenna that's really got some issues. So I'm using an 80-meter a 80-meter antenna on a 40-meter band, and I'm only putting out 100 watts. I'm sorry you can't hear me, but my name is Lou, and the call is N9GTO, and I'm not that far away from Jim. So I'm using a manual tuner to get me on this frequency so I can have some fun with you guys. Have you made those adjustments? Over?
No, fine business, Lou. Yes, I did. This is KA3LSK, and I brought them all up, the wide, the mid, and the narrow, up to the 2900 factor. So let me hear what the audio reports might be.
All right, what you need to do now is more compression, because you're still too wide in your dynamic range. You're about a 8 in the dynamic range, 8 dB, and you want to move that down to about a 3 dB dynamic range ideally. So sally forth with the compressor, take it up to 2/3 capabilities. Let's see what happens there. 2/3 capabilities on the compressor. See if we can get some fattening going on your audio. Roger, Roger.
Hold on a minute. Did you do the treble and bass to 5+? Over?
Approximately 70%, talking semi off the side of the microphone.
He doesn't have no treble or bass. He's flat.
Maybe it might improve what you're saying.
He put no treble or bass in there, John.
Of the audio. So that's pretty accurate.
Go ahead, Lou.
Sir, you did not turn the treble and bass wide open to 5+.
Okay, very good. And what do you think of that?
Did you turn them both open to 5+?
Yes, I've got them both open.
At 5+, right? Now I want you to go to the compressor, and I want you to put the compressor on 5. I want you to put the mic gain on 100 and your power on 100, and I want you to talk to it.
You guys are doubling all the way, all the time.
Turn back to KC9VKV. You've given me something to look at there. I guess I need to go look at that menu some more. And thank you. I appreciate your assistance. KC9VKV and you, Lou. I didn't catch your call sign. Thank you for your help. This is KA3LSK.
Do I sound anything like that 7300?
No. I mean, you have to. It's a learning, growing process, and it's hard to grab all that stuff right off the bat. That's 7300 is fairly intimidating radio for a person that's not familiar with that. 7610 is even more challenging, but it takes time to learn the radio, so you kind of have to creep into it, so a person doesn't get confused or feel challenged immensely,
Yeah, he needs to press the round button above the VSO so he can set his RF power for 100, mic gain for 100, and his compressor at 5. That's what he needs to do. Don't listen to your monitor. It'll lie to you.
I can read the manual, but I really thought, well, maybe the way it came out of the box, I should be okay. At any rate, I'm going to turn it back to you so you can get on to some other recommendations for other operators, and we'll check in and look at what our audio sounded as you made those comments for me, and then we'll
I got Dixie Cup sound better than that.
Again another week. Thanks very much. KC9VKV, KA3LSK.
Roger. Yeah, we'll try it again next week, and you'll have a chance to delve into that radio and find out all of its capabilities. And it does have that monitor, so you could use the monitor to kind of come into to ballpark with where we're trying to go. But we do want to get your dynamic range to about a 3. A 3 would be a nice fat signal. and you would not have large excursions with a 3 dB dynamic range. You would just have a very fat signal, and that way it gets real easy to adjust the ALC because your audio isn't jumping all around. You know, when you have a 3 dB dynamic range, it's real easy to adjust that on your ALC. So we'll say 3s for now. You have a good evening, and we'll catch you next Friday. This is KC9VKV.
KC9VKV, Kilo Echo Zero, Mike Juliet Echo.
Now there's a man knows how to adjust audio.
I knew you're really bassy. Go ahead, station. Try it. What was that station out there calling KC9VKV?
Kilo Echo Zero, Mike Juliet Echo.
Mike Juliet Echo, go ahead.
Mike Juliet Echo, this is KC9VKV.
Hey, how are you? Name's Joe, Juliet Oscar Echo. We're in eastern Iowa, around the Mississippi River. I was just following along with what you were talking about with the ICOM 7300. Does this sound okay, or would you recommend getting a EQ?
I would go to your EQ and punch it up on the top end about 3 or 4. I would go to EQ and punch it up on the top end about 3 or 4. Leave everything else the same for right now.
No, what he's saying, just add a little treble in there.
That's it. That's it. I'm copying a little blow-by. A little top-end blow-by that time, but I'm sure we're giving as good as we're getting. So this is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. And go ahead, Iowa.
Yeah, I bumped it up there a little bit. Does that sound a little bit better?
Yes, sir, that does. That does. It really helps the articulation for a brighter top end, Roger.
Oh, okay, QSL, yeah. I'm glad I was able to get a hold of you. I just got the ICOM 7300 for Christmas, and it's definitely a different machine than what I've been running. I was running the Kenwood 450 SAT for a long while, and definitely a different machine. I'm definitely enjoying it, though.
Roger that. Now you're using the hand mic?
Yeah. Do you have any recommendations for a desktop mic?
You're not going.
No, I don't. I would just use the hand mic for right now. See, the thing is that hand mic is a condenser hand mic, and it has a very articulated top end, and you're not going to find that on most desk mics. Most desk mics are dynamic, and they just don't have the top end syllabic range that a condenser microphone does. So if you could find a condenser desk mic, that's the one I would go for.
Oh, okay, great. Good to know. I did not know that. You just saved me a couple $100 anyway. Because I don't mind using the hand mic. I just thought maybe, the desk mic, might give it a little bit more, better sounding quality.
Oh, not in the case of the 7300 or the 7610. That hand mic that they supply stock for that is just a beautiful microphone. Most people, the first thing they want to do is take that hand mic off and put a desk mic in, and as soon as they do, their top end goes down about 6 dB from when they had the hand mic, because they're using a dynamic mic which does not have the articulation in the top end that a condenser mic does. And the hand mic, the only thing you have to watch for that is that you want to work that from the side across. Work it across mic as opposed to directly into it, Roger.
Oh, okay, QSL, yeah. Yeah, that's how I pretty much work it all my radios is going to the from the side there. But yeah, I appreciate your time. I appreciate all that you do. I enjoy tuning in. So we'll let you get back at it. I'm sure there's a lot of other people out there that got some questions for you. So KC9VKV, this is Kilo Echo Zero, Mike Juliet Echo, and we'll say 73, and thank you.
Roger, come back with the call sign slowly, phonetically.
Yeah, it's Kilo Echo Zero, Mike Juliet Echo.
And the name?
Joe, Juliet Oscar Echo.
Okay, Joe. And one other thought would be that on your compressor, if you ran your compressor, put it in line and run about 1/3 of its possibilities, about a third of the possibilities on your compressor. That would also fatten your signal up. Can you do that?
Yeah, I brought that up to about a third. How's that right there?
Yeah, it's starting to look good as far as dynamic range in the audio. So we'll say 3s for now and work with it a little bit, and we will be posting this on YouTube in the next couple of days, so you can go there and check it out. And then maybe next Friday join us and let me know what you think. Roger, Roger.
Okay, sounds good. Great. What was the YouTube channel again there, QSO?
All right, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that'll take you to the Qso-Vlog page, and on that page you'll look for a session that's titled My Group Air Check 122818. My Group Air Check 122818. Roger, it'll be on page 1 or page 2.
Okay, great. Thank you again. 73. Have a great New Year.
Roger, Roger. You too. 3's that away, sir. Good to hear from Iowa. This is KC9VKV with the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog program from 3:30 to 5 Eastern. We record our air check, and if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout.
KC9VKV, N9GTO.
Roger, Mr. Lou, you're very heavy in the bottom end. I don't understand it. It's just kind of muffly.
Well, I'll tell you what. The compressor now is at back in 5. This is with no compressor. And let me kind of give you a little idea of what was going on earlier with your gentleman out there. This is what the guy was doing out there, and the gentleman you were talking to earlier. This is how he sounded to me. This is basically how he sounded to me. He went in and took out all. He was at -5 on his bass, -5 on his treble. Let me turn all that back up. And right now, I basically got +5. So you got -5 and +5 and 0. What I need to do is bring this icon over to you and let you keep it for a couple weeks so you can be an authoritative figure on this. Now, getting back to my normal deal, RF powered 100%, mic gain 100%. The compressor now, I'm bringing the compressor back on, and it's back at 5. Here it is at 10, wide open at 10. And again, this is at 5. This is where you like me. You tell me this sounds great. So again, I believe the gentleman may not be familiar with getting into his menus very well, and there is a thing that you have to do with the 7300 to make it transmit wider. There's a YouTube video that shows you how to go in the menu and make it do something. I believe the 1200 does the same thing, but if you go in there and you just tell them all, 100 to 2900 on all 3, the narrow, mid, and the wide, then you're covering all your bases. But I think I'm going to have to do is just bring the radio over for you and show you how simplified this thing is. Believe me, if I can use it, anybody can. KC9VKV. What did you think about the compressor going to 10 and back to 5? Over.
Well, I think you need to work that mic a little bit to the corner, because I'm getting a lot of plosives. That mic is susceptible to transients and plosives, and you really have to work it to the side of the mouth to keep that at a minimum. Otherwise, it's something that sounds like it might need a windscreen. But you're right in but some folks are just not that familiar with their radios, and it's going to take them a little while to become familiar with it. And I just as soon not have somebody delving into an area that they're not comfortable in delving into, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's a basic screen, and there are several YouTube videos on how to set up a 7300. And when that one gentleman came in there just now with his Christmas gift, I was very impressed with the audio level. I'm speaking in the side of the microphone now. Did that help?
I would add, that's the stock hand mic?
Yes, it is.
I would add a couple of clicks on the top end of that. That 7300 only has 2-band EQ, right?
Well, it does have bass and treble. Let me go here, because see, again, the downfall of it is I'm listening to myself, at 6 kcs wide, and let me just do this. Maybe I just need to, for you, see, there's the issue. There it is at 0 on the bass, right there. That's 0 on the bass, and I'm 100% on treble. And we're not comparing apples to oranges. So if we had the same apple to compare apples, and that's why I think it's very important for me to bring the 7300 over and let you keep it for a month or two or whatever, and you're probably never going to give it back anyway. But there it is at, you know, the base was turned to Z. You have -5 and +5 on base. Over.
Roger, I would go back and set it like you had it. I'm getting so much blow-by. I'm getting louder blow-by than you are. I'm getting my blow-by is out modulating you. It's just you got to get your antenna up, and you got to get your PA on it, Roger.
Oh yeah, I agree, and I'm back to where I was before again. And like I said, I'm listening to myself at 6 kcs wide on K3FEF.com, and I'm hearing what I'm hearing. And again, we've just got to, you know, be on the same page so that we can work with each other. So, you know, if you're giving advice, you can say, hey, press this button here below the ATT, and that gives you a menu. And then when you press that thing that says set, that gives you another menu. And then when you go, you know, yada, 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 and there's a little thing, it always takes you back. So this is the most simplified radio. That's why I have 3 of these, Jim. Most simplified radio that's ever been placed on the market. And it's #1 in market share. This radio has sold more radios, COM7300, than any radio in the world.
Roger. All right, let me jump on in here and see if we can find some other folks that need to get in here so we can get some air checks going. Roger.
Well, go ahead. You've got 13 minutes left.
And this is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor and the Qso-Vlog program. If you've got a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. We are recording.